Sa joy, mga kapatid, mga kaibigan, na magkasama-sama naman tayo sa ating God's Word for Today devotional. Welcome at nandito na tayo sa 2 Kings chapter 15 verses 32 to 38. At as usual, I will read this sa ating Tagalog na Biblia. Siya ay 25 taon nang siya ay nagsimulang maghari. At siya ay naghari ng 16 na taon sa Jerusalem. Ang pangalan ng kanyang ina ay Jerusha, na anak ni Zadok. Siya ay gumawa ng matuwid sa mga mata ng Panginoon ayon sa lahat ng ginawa ng kanyang amang si Uzziah. Gayunmay, ang matataas na dako ay hindi inalis. Ang bayan ay patuloy na nag-alay at nagsunog ng insenso sa matataas na dako. Itinayo niya ang pintuang bayan sa itaas sa bahay ng Panginoon. Ang iba pa sa mga gawa ni Jotham at ang lahat niyang ginawa, di ba nakasulat ang mga yun sa aklat ng mga kasaysayan ng mga hari ng Juda? Nang mga araw na yun, pinasimulang suguin ng Panginoon laban sa Juda sina Rezin, na hari sa Syria, at si Pekah, na anak ni Remaliah. Si Jotham ay natulog ng kasama ng kanyang mga ninuno at inilibing ng kasama ng kanyang mga ninuno sa lungsod ni David na kanyang ninuno. Si Ahaz, na kanyang anak, ay nagharing kapalit niya. We are going to learn this morning sa isang prinsipyo na ang tolerance ng Panginoon ay hindi nagkakahulugan na kanyang approval yun. God's tolerance is not God's approval. Pag pinipermit ng Panginoon, it does not mean that it's a license. Si King Jotham, ang binabanggit dito sa ating binasa, ay sumunod siya ng yapak ng kanyang ama na si Uzziah o si Uzziah, and he was a good king, following the footsteps of his father at his earlier reign, o sa King Uzziah's earlier reign. And maaring natutunan niya ang leksyon anong nangyari sa kanyang tatay na si Uzziah. Kasi po, dito ay sinasabi na he did not enter into the temple of the Lord. According to 2 Chronicles 27 verse 2, he did what was right in the eyes of the Lord according to all that his father Uzziah had done, except he did not enter the temple of the Lord, but the people still followed corrupt practices. Natutunan niya siguro that it's really risky and the price is so big kung gagawin niya ang ginagawa ng kanyang ama na si Uzziah. We should remember na si Uzziah burned a burnt sacrifice in the altar na hindi naman pwedeng gawin niya yun because he was a king. But he insisted to doing it because of his pride. That's why he was judged by the Lord. Kaya nga, si King Jotham dito was commended for learning what should he not follow about his father, lalo na sa temple worship. At ating ma-reflection dito na isang leksyon is, ang mga bata natin ay tinitingnan tayo mga tatay. And then, kung may mga mali na nagawa ng tatay, ay these children will learn from their mistakes themselves by observing kaya ano po yung resulta because of the sin. Ang kanyang tatay na si Uzziah was so proud that resulted to leprosy. Nagkaroon siya ng kitong. And it was too serious for Jotham to ignore. Perhaps he learned to follow God because of the fear of consequences. Pero hindi naman niya mahal ang Panginoon. Maaaring ganun din na takot lang siguro because of what God will do to punish him. Pero hindi naman siya talaga nagmamahal sa Panginoon. He was so blessed na he became powerful because he walked steadfastly before the Lord his God. 2 Chronicles chapter 27 verse 6. Ang kanyang greatness was attributed to his walk before the Lord. He was steadfast. Kanyang pinalakas ang kanyang harian by rebuilding the upper gate of the temple. And he built the wall at the hill of Ophel and town ports and towers. 2 Chronicles chapter 27 verse 3 to 4. So dito naman natin makikita na unti-unting nalimutan ni Jotham na alisin ang mga matataas na dako. He built the wall, the hill of Ophel and towns, forts and towers. However, he failed to remove the high places so that the people could continue to make sacrifices there. Although hindi siya pumasok sa templo para magsakripisyo, pinabayaan niya yun. He did not meddle the work of the priest or the Levites. Alam niya kung saan siya lalagay sa sarili niya. But, meron siyang isang failure. He failed to remove the high places so the people do continue to make revelries, sacrifices. We can read that in 2 Kings chapter 15, verse 35. Tandaan natin, as reflecting sa storya na to, ang Panginoon ay ating lakas. Siya po ang ating buhay. He is our strength. As we belong to Him and to His kingdom. That should be the relationship that we need to remember. We belong to Him, He owns us, and it is there that makikita natin that life should not be that complicated. So, although he knew that God must be his strength in order to his kingdom to survive, si Jotham ay naglalaro ng politika dito. He played enough politics, taking for granted the effect of the worship of idols. Para sa kanya, there was no problem for the people in his kingdom as long as they are doing well physically. Ang magandang resulta sa pag-compromise, kasalanan pero tinotolerate ng Panginoon, kung mayroong mga desisyon na ginagawa, mga pag-iisip na ginagawa na wala namang masyadong reaction and consequences from God, ang tanong is, does that make it right? If the result through compromising actions are working well, or they are positive ang epekto. No. It's not only the product, the result, but also the person na tama yung puso niya. That he tried to live a holy life, a separated life. So God is our strength, and katulad din ni King Jotham, God was the strength of his kingdom. Ganyan po tayo dapat. God must be our strength. Pero Jotham had played enough politics already here that he took for granted the effect of COVID. Not COVID, I mean, but the effect of the worship of idols. For him, para sa kanya siguro, there was no problem for the people and his kingdom. Kasi po, everything is doing well. I mean, everything is okay. Politically, economically. So the good result of his kingdom, by his compromising actions and decisions, was taken for granted that God must be blessing us. These things must be right. Ganyan po ang deception ng puso ng isang tao. Akala ng isang tao na okay sa harap ng Panginoon because okay naman yung buhay niya. Materially, physically, maski financially or emotionally. But spiritually, he has been drifting away from the Lord. It's sad that itong blessing na God has blessed them was interpreted as God's approval. Hindi porke ng Panginoon ay nag-bless sa atin materially na we are already approved in the eyes of God. Tandaan natin, we receive the goodness of God by grace, hindi because of what we have done. Ibig sabihin, kung ano man ang mga blessing na tanggap natin, it's not because you merit it, I merit it. It's purely by the grace of God. Now, of course, when we work hard, diligent tayo, what you sow, you reap. Pero bukod dyan, may blessing sa Panginoon. Maski anong gagawin natin, how diligent are we, kung hindi i-bless ng Panginoon, we will not receive this grace. Ang grasya ng Panginoon is not to make us passive and permissive, lalo na sa kasalanan. Grace is not a license to continue sinning, but it is the power of God that will overcome sin. Binigyan tayo ng grasya ng Panginoon para nalo tayo, maging triumphant tayo sa kasalanan, which when we are left by ourselves, alam natin na hindi natin kayanin. We are too weak before any temptation and any trial. But by the grace of God, we'll be able to handle it. So let's not forget this. Grace is not a license or a tolerance to commit sin. Instead, gives us power, gives us the ability to overcome sa mga kasalanan. Sana po sa ating devotional sa umagang ito ay nakakatulong ito, nakaka-encourage sa ating lahat. Let's pray. Thank you, Lord, na binigyan niyo kami ng pagkakataon to learn naman sa isang buhay ng hari na si King Jotham. Sinulat niyo itong bahagi sa buhay niya for us to learn principles. Help us, Lord, to recognize na hindi kami dapat na maging katulad ni Jotham, na taking things for granted. Help us, Lord, to look at everything according to your eyes, Lord. Kung anong man ang mga kamalian, anong mga kasalanan namin, Lord, help us to see it the way you look at it. And by your grace, tawarin niyo kami, Panginoon. And bigyan mo kami ng panibagong pagsimula sa aming buhay. Salamat, Panginoon, for today. At ito ay dalangin namin sa pangalan po ni Jesus. Amen.